All right, setting up YouTube. Perfect. Looks like we are live. Let's turn that down. Let's get this posted on our social channels, and then we'll get going in here.
Take a lap.
Take a lap. Take a lap. Tap. Anth, what's going on on the East Coast right now before we get into it?
I'm pretty pumped about this pod. It's hot as Hades over here. It's like 100 degrees today, so I'm cooked from working outside all day. As you can see, a little color going on here. I
Feel
still
you
got
there.
still got the you can't see it on the screen, but I still got the baby thing going. So
Okay, a little bassinet.
the bass. This is actually like a swing, but he don't like the bassinet. But I'll turn that thing off. But
Cool.
getting ready for the little NARCh Pro preview here.
Yeah. Well, we're live now,
Yeah.
so welcome to the RDN Roller Show. We got a pretty cool. We were trying to do something like we did last with Taurus Pro preview, but you kind of realize at one point all the players are playing D1, which is going on right now. Some of them are playing juniors as well, which is going on right now. So it's kind of hard to grab a player from 14 teams when honestly, like half of them are playing right now. So,
It's
but
the time difference and everything. It just would have been chaotic. Probably would have got
yeah.
some funny interviews out of it, to be honest. But
Oh yeah, I mean, a couple at the rink, but with that being said, though, we do got a pretty special interview here, a little special guest. Got the NARCh boss, Daryn Goodwin's going to be joining us, which is pretty cool. Kind of just go over stuff going on at NARCh, maybe what's to come at NARCh Pro and stuff, just a little recap. So pretty excited to have him on, and it's always nice talking to Daryn.
yeah, he's definitely in the thick of things too. So the fact that he's able to kind of jump away for 10, 15 minutes here with us is huge. And I'm sure it's going to be a pretty cool atmosphere for him coming on here.
Absolutely. Well, I think let's just we'll bring Daryn on right now.
Bring on D. All right.
No, we'll see where Daryn's at. Maybe he joined from his other phone.
Yeah, maybe. He's always wearing those headphones, so they got pretty good range on there.
Yeah. Maybe give him a little message here, see where he's at.
Yeah, and while you're doing that kind of filibuster here, there he is. All right.
There we go.
Hey, hey,
Perfect. Here we go.
how we doing,
All
guys?
right, guys. Well, we're here with Daryn Goodwin, right in the thick of things at NARCh. So, Daryn, first and foremost, how's everything been going thus far? You guys got started on Monday, so a few days in now. How's everything been going?
We're halfway done and started last Thursday. So
I'm
we're
sorry, last Thursday. Monday.
yeah. We
Part
no,
one.
that's okay. We're 500 and I don't know, 540 games into our 967 game. Who's counting, right? We're in the thing.
That's awesome. So I know you had like men's silver kind of started off with that huge, 43 team division. Can you like kind of get into what that division was like? Was there any games that stood out more than the other?
You know, a lot of good games. There were a lot of good games. You had, for example, you would have like a team that would end up the 28th seed that lost a game by 2, won a game by 1, tied a game, lost another game by 3. There was a lot of competitive games. There's a few blowouts too, why we bracket them off. But once we got into playoffs with the 10, 10, and 10, there was a lot of very competitive games.
Yeah, and it's pretty cool that you were able to break it out that way because it's very rare you see like a silver, bronze, and copper men's division. So it's good that all those teams kind of get a chance at an Arch Gold, within their 10-team range. And it's got to be pretty impressive for a team like the Golden Knights to be the first place out of 43 teams. So that's got to be such a huge accomplishment for them too.
I think, not to shit on those guys. They're a great team and a really good program, but I think they played. I could be wrong. I know they lost a game in the prelims and it dropped them to like an 8 seed or something like that.
Yeah.
So they had a couple of studs on that team that and they're they've got some guys that used to play at a higher level than that just want to come out, but they're still in great shape. So once it came time for playoffs in the championship and they were loaded, they look good. That NCR average team looks good, but I mean, that 44 Cal Sniper, like there was a lot of good teams. And I think, obviously I didn't watch every game as 5 rinks were going at the time, and still are, but it was competitive. I think everybody had fun. I think there are a few teams that are like, they would say stuff like, why is this team playing silver? Or why is this team playing? And at the end of the day, it's like, it's not that they don't belong. It's just like, unfortunately, there's no one as low as you guys. Like, there's 4 or 5 teams that just like, they're going to struggle to win any game against anybody. And I think it's got me thinking like, if it keeps growing, we got to go 4 levels. Guys just want to play and want to be part of the tournament. And, they may have not played high level hockey their whole lives, but they love it so much, even though they're really just maybe a step above rec beer league. If they could play NARCh and be competitive, why not build a division? Because silver's good. Like silver's as good as gold used to be, for sure. So
yeah, so you got the perfect background right now. I saw Lionel walking across, I saw Stephen Campbell with Unify walking across. What's just been the vibe like, at NARCh? What's been the highlights for you so far here at NARCh?
Oh, it's great. Like everything, it's always good here. It's always fun here. Everybody loves coming here, but there's not a component that's not better. We've got a beer garden. You guys want me to cruise you over to the beer garden?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Take it away.
All right. So here we go. We'll give you the lowdown.
We're on the move.
We're on the move. Oh, we might have froze, but we're okay.
So
Think you're frozen, Daryn.
Yeah, the beer garden experiment didn't work, but it did look sick.
At least we got the, little banners up there.
There we go. Yeah, that was one of the things I was actually going to ask him about is the beer garden and just like how people have been responding to that, because that's the first I've seen at NARCh having something like that there, because I know they've had like the taco stands and guys doing the burgers and dogs and stuff like that, but having a nice little beer garden there has got to be so awesome to like be watching games, just be able to go grab your beer like right at the Corey rink, I think it is on the left.
Yeah.
Like walk right over to watch a game. And a lot of those pro finals are held on that game too. So it's going to have like almost like a NHL atmosphere feel like.
Oh,
we lost Daryn. We lost Daryn.
Yeah,
we're going to have to get him back in. But you are right. When pro comes around, you got men's platinum starting, men's gold and stuff. A lot of these, 24 year. All right, here we go.
Back
is he back in? There he is.
There you go.
Lost you.
We lost you when you went over the.
Yeah, I had to slam one real quick and come back. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. But I'm assuming the beer garden's been a big hit so far at NARCh finals.
Yeah, it's been perfect so far. Nothing too crazy. Sunday night was fun. Guys would take the cups over. Kind of reminds me of, it's obviously not like a bar, but it reminds me of the vibes that you would get at Tico and Jermaine up in the bar afterwards, when people take the cup up there and have a good time and just talk and everybody's happy. So I'm sure Saturday night after the pro game, during that pro game, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying. That's awesome. You could just like go grab a beer and just go right to the rink and watch, right? And it's almost like a NHL atmosphere where you're going out, grabbing your beer to break and watching the games. So, and there's
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. They've actually got it guarded off, and there's really tight security, which makes my life. That's what I was honestly concerned about, because I didn't want people cruising around the whole facility and worrying about minors drinking and stuff like that. So it's guarded off, and you have to be, they put a wristband on you, and they're the security's doing a bang up job with all of that. So it's been a good fit so far, but there's all kinds of stuff. We've got more vendors. Lord's here with her dangle tool. We got a guy, he's got a company called Roller Attack. It's basically
it's like a putty, like a little tacky thing, right?
Yeah, it's a substance that you put on your wheel. It's supposed to make it grip more or last longer. Whether that's true, I don't know, but his boost been busy. You know, all the typicals are here. Steven's spending more time than ever at the Unified booth. That's because he's finally selling pants that
Okay.
There you go.
set up over here. So he's selling pants and hats and stuff like that. So since he's able to put money in his pocket right here at the tournament, he seems to be hanging out here a little bit. But,
He keeps trying to get on camera in the background too. So
Yeah, I've seen him walk by like 3 or 4 times.
he wants some FaceTime.
he comes by again. Here, look, we got clowns everywhere here. Look at this guy.
Is that Marv?
Hanging out.
Marv, you got Marv. What's up, Marv? You
Look at Marv. Does Marv have a little fan crew with the shirts
got
too?
shirts?
Yeah, he's a celebrity in Arizona, so you know.
So with some of the guys coming there for men's platinum, you got NARCh Pro starting and the women's pro. Kind of what can they expect to come there and see? Any, obviously you kind of explained some of the stuff, but anything else?
Well, we are going to live stream it. We're planning on it. We're running into a little bit of difficulty right now. Scaffolding is supposed to show up. It's not here. Well, half of it's here, half of it's not. So, I don't want Jeremy Ellis showing up tomorrow and then saying, oh, well, if I can't be way up here on my little throne, that I'm not going to be here and I'm just going to turn around and go back to Chicago. We don't want that to happen. So I need to get that straightened out in the next 24. But yeah, I mean, the vibe is just, you could tell I'm relaxed right now. I'm having fun. And, a lot of times you catch me on at this point of the tournament. Not to say I didn't snap a couple times today, but, overall, I'm in a good mood and things are great. We just had our 2 platinum D1 semis. I don't know if you followed it, but, it's going to be a East Coast showdown. Roadrunners beat Skittles, and then Black Ice just beat the GKA group. And we just got the D1 over here, the gold one, where the Raiders defeated Pure Maple in a good game. So a lot going on here.
Yeah, that one division we were talking about, or 2 of them, 14U Platinum and 16U Platinum. Your Team USA coach for the juniors. Did you get a lot of time to watch those games? Were you able to? I know you're, obviously running tournaments hard, but any of those like teams stand out to you?
Well, 14U Plat was just unreal. I mean, I hope to do a podcast tonight, talk about it a little bit. And even, I knew it going in. Like, I knew the 6 teams. I really thought that any one of them could have won going in. As it started to play out, one team was kind of a half notch below the other 5. But, I mean, look at it this way. The team that won the championship, they won a game and tied 3 games in the prelims. And then, they beat the team. They ended up beating the Jets in the championship, which was one of the teams that they tied. But, RHL, who else did they tie? They tied the Zulu. And I think they tied, who else did they tie? They tied one more team. But anyway, my point is, like, it was an unreal division. I mean, the 1 and 2 seeds were hyped up on Dew and Hornets from Taiwan. And they both got bounced in the semis in good games, where the Jets, which was a lower seed, and RHL, which was a lower seed, ended up in the championship. It was good. And the championship game was great.
That's a good sign of just a competitive division that plays out well in playoffs, right? At the end of the day. And that's what we were talking about, even with the men's silver, why you break down these divisions. So it is competitive when you get to playoffs. And every tournament, there's going to be games that get out of hand, but that's just the nature of the beast of tournaments. And going back to like the live stream, you guys did a really good job last year with the live stream setup and everything. How's everyone been responding to you right now that you have a live stream and you're able to do it there, which is always a challenge at Irvine, right? There's not a ton of viewing spaces, but it seems like people are really excited for this live stream for both the women's pro and the men's pro.
Yeah, I mean, well, especially the people that aren't here, right? Like, if you're here, you're here.
Awesome.
You can see it. You could see it live. But it's one of these things where you just, no matter what you do, it's never enough. And I'm happy doing the pro. I think the other tournaments, that's kind of what they do now. We don't even do every rink. We try to give every team, some games on the rinks that we're doing, because I mean, when you're talking about, we got 14 men's pro and 7 women's pro, that's 21 teams. So, I mean, you're looking at 42 games, 42 prelim games. Like, you can't, if we stuck them all on one rink and went round the clock, we wouldn't be able to, still can't get every game because it's such a condensed schedule. But we do the best we can just to give people a feel of the tournament, cover some games. We've got obviously Live Barn, they cover 4 of the 5 rinks, but people are, I've got can never make everybody happy. There's parents from foreign countries and their kid may have a game on rink 1 and that's the one rink that isn't covered, and they went and bought Live Barn to watch them on the back rink, and like they tried to tell people like one rink that's not covered. But anyway, bottom line, I think the response is great, and we do what we can. We've been doing it for a long time. I think the production will be good. Stephen Reyes does a good job with what is it, Hockey Night Insider and his R&R production company. So he'll be kind of behind the scenes. I got Ellis flying in to do some play-by-play. Andy Zilch is tournament directing. He'll probably jump up there a little bit. Greg Hughes will jump up there a little bit. I think Laura wants to cover some of the women's stuff. So we've got it. It'll be fun. It's a lot of people that care a lot about the sport, and hopefully it shows after it's all said and done.
How's Lionel doing there? I know he loves like his American chocolate and candy and stuff. How's he loving the atmosphere?
Well, when he's not at Target picking up more, he's doing great.
He walked by earlier.
He's one of the funny. I saw him earlier walking by, and he's one of the funniest guys because I'll see his Instagram and he's posting pictures of ketchup at Arby's, and it's like the little things makes him happy, and he's such a cool guy, such a good guy. So he's there year after year too. So it is really awesome to see the dedication to you and NARCh. Every year after year from France all the way to Cali.
No, he loves it. He's super passionate. I actually listened to your guys' podcast. I rolled back to San Diego last night just to do some laundry and escape from this, because I'll tell you, because I'm staying at RDN property. And when you're here, we've been here since last Wednesday, so that would have been the 5-day point. And when you're at the rink the whole time, I mean, if you get away, get a nice dinner, stuff like that, it really mentally helps.
Oh yeah.
But when you're here the whole time, I needed that break. I needed to go back to San Diego, came back recharged early this morning. So the point is, I listened to your guys' podcast, and you pointed out that, between Raine, who's Canadian, and, he does a lot of stuff. He works full time for the OHL now, which is, hey, come here, which is a dream job for him.
Bring him in.
He's been sick for about 24 hours though. So
here we go, Raine. How's it going?
Finally,
you gotta put me in.
Finally, we get him on.
Fellas, how we doing, man?
We're doing good. How's it going, Raine?
I've been better, but when I'm here in Irvine, California at the NARCh finals, it's always a good time. But yeah, the taco truck banged me up on Sunday night, and
oh boy,
had to grind it out for the past few days. But hey, I'm back here and I'm ready to go. So here we are.
Here we go. Are you playing? Are you playing at all too?
So originally I was going to play, but given the schedule with how everything is shaping up with pro, I think I'm gonna focus on the shooting and the content creation for this upcoming weekend. So that way, all the boys will be ready to have some bangers on the way. So I'm pumped.
There we go. So I know that you have an eye for talent, and you shoot in such a really cool way, like a very personalized way. Any games or any players you're looking forward to shooting this weekend?
Yeah, I think the team that I'm actually very eager to see is obviously some of the Palma guys. I haven't seen them in over a year, and just to see how they shape up. I saw a few of them this past weekend at 30 and over, and just to see those guys back at it again is always great. But I always have to give love, to my Skittles guys as well. Obviously they just came off a tough loss in 24U, but I really think they're going to be, forced to come with, this upcoming weekend. I think they're going to be a dark horse as well. They have some big ads. Wisey's a real big ad, and obviously the ad of Ollie last year, and a lot of those younger guys stepping up this year, and the big one as well, the return of Daryn Goodwin as well. So it's going to be a big weekend for them, and I hope that they can step up.
I was just going to ask you about the skits, how they look, because I know that they did like a bonding weekend, kind of like a training camp weekend. So did they look pretty good out there? I mean, despite the loss.
Yeah, that game against the Roadrunner, obviously, anytime they play those guys, it's always a 50-50 shot, flip of the coin on who can win that game. And I really thought that game there, the Skits, we're controlling momentum, but obviously, how that puck bounces in roller, anything can happen. But yeah, I think, that weekend really helped them bond together and, give them a little break on, instead of going to tours, that type of thing, giving them the opportunity to, recharge the batteries and, get ready to, start off a really big summer for them.
Sup, Dowd?
They got down.
We got Dowd in the
Kyle
background.
Dowd here,
Yep.
Colorado guy. So
Yeah. There we go.
I saw him
Say hi to you guys.
on the video.
All right.
All right, I'm getting kicked out here. I just want to say, thanks again for everything you guys do. You guys are the best in the business in terms of, the creation and the content creation of roller, and keep up the great work. And hope to see you guys soon.
Absolutely, Raine. Hey, we look
appreciate
forward
it,
to the
dude.
bangers, man. As always, you kill it. So have fun and feel better. Stay away from the taco truck.
Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in a little bit.
Later, man.
We'll talk to Manny. He's waiting to talk to somebody.
We've
You
got to
know,
get him
you
on
put-
for like a full. We got to
I
get
know
him
that.
on
You
for
put
a
your
full
beer
'cause
down.
he
Yeah.
knows so
Anyway.
much.
Yeah. So it's as you guys can see, it's a good atmosphere here. Everyone knows kind of anybody's and either coming or going here. We're sort of in our, let's call it 4 waves, right? Because you have a bunch of teams that come in that ended on Sunday, other teams that started on the Sunday that are ending tomorrow. Teams that are, others will be ending, Thursday, Friday, and then the very end will be ending on Sunday. So it's almost, part of the trick to this is within the block, you've got to try to estimate the number of teams where it's all going to fit like a puzzle to get the right amount of games each day. Otherwise, you're going to end up where you got too many games on some days and you don't have enough games on other days. But we kind of, knock on wood, we knocked out of the park this year and in the last couple of years, we're going from 6:30 a.m. to 12:30. Obviously, have to use Corona, here and there, but they're long days, but they're all consistent. So it's great.
No, absolutely.
And we're starting on time and we're ending on time, which is important.
I was gonna say that last night I tuned in the live barn for the junior like quarterfinal games and they were right there, like right when I wanted to watch them. So that was impressive to see that you able to keep it on time with like X amount of games in a day. Like it's insane, close to 18 hours of games.
Well, we have the, we do have the luxury of the fallback in Corona, except when they, have their weeknight league stuff, which we knew going in. So, for example, we had 12U silver skill today. Last year, we keep track of all this. Last year, we allocated about a 45-minute slot. Took like an hour 15 to do it last year. So you get a couple of those skills in a day. Next thing you know, you're running, 45 to an hour behind. Then you throw in a couple of overtime games, and you might be running an hour and a half behind on a 11:30 game at night. Having to go at 1 o'clock in the morning. So, we allocate it right now with on time for everything. Again, knock on wood. We've been good about that. Give credit to Alex with the schedule too. He does a bang up job. But yeah, it's the divisions we added were great. We added a 30 and over women's division and a 50 plus. Gary, who just walked by, English guy from the UK. He's got to be 65. In fact, he walks by again. I should have you talk to him. It's amazing. So he plays Billy. Played 50 plus PGKA. They ended up winning, which is cool because there's guys kind of from a bunch of different countries, along with the two Lebedas and what's his name? Jeez, I'm blanking right now.
Rob?
No. I cannot believe Glenn Evans. Glenn's a stud. He had a couple goals in that game. But back to Gary, the 65-year-old goalie. He's got a son that's playing. He's got grandkids that are playing. There's like 5 people in the family that come to Winter Nationals. They come to this. It's pretty incredible. So
He's like a roller godfather in his family.
Like a generational guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, and I lost to him, and he's a 65-year-old goalie. So I don't know what that says about me, but it is what it is.
So how about one last question, or I have 2. Jeff Booma, I think you had like a video of Booma's pads. Does he use those in games?
Oh yeah. We could probably dig up some highlights or lowlights of him too. He's an aggressive goalie. He actually, I give Jeff credit. He looks great. Last, I don't know, he looks better than he did 5 years ago. So it looks like he's in shape, and he had a really good time. I hooked him up with Mika and the Canadian guys, and they gelled really well. Both those divisions, the women's 30 plus and the 50 plus for men's, multiple people have come up to me with both and said, you got to do it at Winter Nationals. Like, we're hooked. We want to keep doing it. The division will grow. I had 2 guys come up to me today, completely different parts of the country, and said, I'm turning 50 next year. I'm building a team for this. We'll see if they show, but it's good. There's good energy with it. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, it's a good way to get the bonding. Half of the, the tournament and playing is everything, but a lot of it's the team, the bonding, getting together with your friends that, and I bet you a lot of those guys haven't played with in a while, as a group together. So it's cool. So hopefully it does progress and it grows, because usually when you start one of those things and it goes well, it always grows and then can continue, like you're saying.
Sure. And let me come back to one thing, because we touched on that 14U platinum, but you guys asked about 16U plat too. I think that one was maybe a little bit more predictable. We're still, I think we're on to the semis now. And I mean, the 2 teams going in, they're the 1-2 seeds. The Outcast 07 team is really good and Black Ice. So, I'm trying to think one of them played the Canadian team in the semi.
And then Palm is the other one.
And then Palma, yeah, with Sturbu and those kids, like they're going to be good games. And Fairmont got better every game. Fairmont beat Palma in the prelims, but then who took care of me?
Palma beat them.
Palma beat them. Yeah.
That's what happened. So, anyway, it's I do pay more attention to kids kind of that age, because a couple of those kids, Sturbu would have been on Team USA, but he made an ice team, so he's committed to that, which is the tough thing about that team, right? It's because they're all competitive ice players, and a lot of them are committed to different things. So I feel fortunate that we put together the team we did, and we'll see what we're made of in about 2-3 days, because we're playing men's platinum. It's going to be men's plat is no joke. So I think what will come out of it is we'll learn a lot about guys, and they'll get to know each other, which is the main reason we're doing this. I really don't know what to expect. I kind of expect to make playoffs. And I would say if we can make the semis, that would be very, very good. We are going to be missing a couple of players, but anyway, it'll be fun.
Yeah. So, for people that don't know, Daryn are you coaching this weekend then in men's platinum, that team?
Unless there's any huge fires I got to put out. They got the, I kept them off Corona just so I'd be able to do that for those guys. That's about the most homer job I'm ever going to do, but I do want to coach them, and I am coaching.
What a bad guy.
Yeah. Right. So I do plan on being on the bench unless I'm dealing with another major issue. Should be fun. And I haven't seen Vio yet. I don't think he could come with his. I think what he told me is he can only get a couple of days off work if he was going to go to Italy. So I'm sure he'll be here for pro. Dan's here all day, every day in the pro shop and coaching all the OCLA. So it'll be good for the 3 of us to see the kids at the same time doing the same thing and have conversations.
Yeah, and you'll have a nice month in between where you guys can kind of discuss things and see what you saw, compare and contrast notes. And I think it's a huge test for those kids to play in the men's division, because we talked about it in the last podcast. It is a different game. So if they can play that kind of harder game and that heavier game and do well and succeed at it, I think it's just going to go miles for them at the World Championship. So,
well, I think they certainly, and these rinks, I think are the kids I picked are built. A lot of them never shot on the single bag, never played on the smaller rink. Although I guess my take is I think that we're going to try to get them to add pressure to where other teams don't have time to think, because these kids can skate like they're men. But they're going against men. They're not going against 17-year-old boys. So.
Yeah. What are they? What kind of uniforms are they rocking? Are they doing like a USA thing, or are they? What are you guys doing for uniforms?
No, we kept it low budget to try to, stay under the radar a little bit. We've got the jerseys that I got for the tryouts.
That's sick. I like that style.
Practice jerseys. That's the
for the
best.
skate. Yeah, they're basically practice jerseys.
Yeah.
They do have a logo. They do have matching numbers. Give them credit, but yeah, they're not. We didn't go. I mean, they're spending so much money on all this stuff that they need to spend money on to get there and keep the costs down. And these jerseys are already bad. But no, it's good. Keep playing.
Yeah, that's gonna be that'll be definitely a fun division to watch, especially those kids playing. And I think even the men's players are gonna want to play that team just to kind of maybe prove something to themselves because they are playing like a Team USA, So I think it's gonna be a really good test for them, and I'm sure you're pretty excited too. Now you kind of get to reverse the roles. Now you're coaching. You're not just playing and doing running the tournament. Now you kind of get your toes in somewhere else.
Yeah, no, I mean, part of me wishes I could do it at State Wars if they were all there or somewhere where I could just completely focus on coaching and enjoy the whole experience. But at the same time, it'll be fun here, and definitely looking forward to it. And I agree with you. I think there's a lot of guys that are going to be kind of like, I was every bit of this when I was 18 and I'm
Trying to prove something.
I'm going to prove a point. So
yeah, I was going to say you're talking about not having to put out fires. That might be the fires that you have to put out of some of those games. I feel like some of those games are going to get a little chippy. So
eject myself out of the game. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that could be interesting, right? That might be the first. Real quick, I wanted to ask you just because we were talking about the pro divisions. Do you have anybody who you think's going to really show up for the pro division that maybe people aren't thinking about for the men's pro, and then on the women's side of things, just because the rosters are up, you've seen all the rosters and everything?
I haven't dissected the rosters to where I could tell you, every good player that's in the tournament we were playing for. I think, Car Shield was close last year and they look even stronger this year. I mean, I know there's not, Palma didn't go to tours, and I don't think that was a strong event. This is per se, not a knock against them. It just Palma decided to go on a little bonding trip to Czech and take home some money, and they would challenge me even in that game. But I think everyone would kind of predict the same too. I mean, Black Ice just they love everything about this place. Like, they just seem to do really, really well, and they've added a couple guys. I think Holmes is playing for them, if I'm not mistaken, and they're going to be strong. In fact, Jay was giving me some brief couple hours ago. He's like, didn't you once throw out there that if a team were to win 3 in a row, you give them an extra $30,000?
You put a vig on it?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I said that jokingly one time, but that's not happening.
Jay.
Jay.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Jay needs to make some improvements at rapid fire. So
yeah. Well, if Jay got 30 grand, I don't think those improvements are going to happen.
no.
Yeah, but I think that they're going to be strong. I mean, Roadrunners, you just never know with them. The year that they won it out here, I thought they were a couple years away from being not competitive. And they're only getting better. The thing about pro, in my opinion, and again, some people are probably going to criticize me for shitting on it a little bit, but there's 14 teams, and not that there aren't legitimate pro guys on every single team, because I think there are, but I think it's watered down, if I'm being honest. And I think what Tim did is actually, honestly, I wish I would have thought, because to do that plan, take 8 teams, do a plan for 2, and then have a tier 2 or a semi-pro or whatever you want to call it, at a different level. But I guess my point is, there are a lot of teams that are just a notch below those top 4.
Now he finally froze.
Where is he from? No,
somebody's
sabotaging his stream. Somebody is for sure sabotaging his stream.
Yeah. He's like,
team that won it when they won midget, when they were playing midgets, which is crazy if you think about now. Like, have an 18U team, a bunch of 18, 19-year-olds pro. It's just, I don't know, man. Everything lined up perfectly for them at that tournament, and it just goes to show you that it can. But I'm long-winded, but to get to my point, nobody has a schedule. There's nobody that can say, we got screwed with our schedule, because if you're good, you're going to make players. You're going to go 2-2. You're going to, or you're going to go a win, a loss, and 2 ties, or something like that, because you're playing 2 winnable games for sure if you're good and you deserve to be in this division, and maybe a team or 2 that you expect to lose. And there are a lot of teams that kind of fall in that category. If you look at your schedule and you say, well, this, we got the hardest schedule and we're probably not going to win a game. Well, then you shouldn't be in the division. Like, bottom line, like, if you have that mentality and you think that you're really getting screwed with the toughest 4 teams, like, you just don't belong in this division. But everybody wants to play pro, so that's where we're at.
I think
I was going to say, looking at the schedule, I mean, there's tons of good games, like even in the first day, like of teams that, are very close. Like you have an OC Blades and Carsfield. It's not like that far out of reach that OC Blades team who plays together a lot could give them a really good game, and I think we saw it at Winter Nats, right? With Pure Maple beating Palma, right? So like things like that happen in the tournament. And like you said, if you expect to make playoffs, you should be competitive in, 3 of 4, if not 4 of 4 games.
No, for sure. So, if you guys were doing some sort of pool, which I think you should do, I don't have time to do it, but if anybody picked every game correct, I mean, that's like it's Final Four basketball stuff. I don't know.
You can do something like that.
I don't think anybody could pull that off.
We usually do that. Me and Anth usually do it between ourselves. We'll do the games, but getting all of them right are so impossible because you have so many random games that just you're just like, how did that happen? And especially the ties that happen. It's hard to predict, but you did make a good
new addition next year is the NARCh Sportsbook next year. I think that's what Daryn's getting at.
Yeah, I'm in a sports book enough. I don't need any extra action.
No more problems.
Yeah. Well, hey, Daryn, we just wanted to say thank you for joining, taking 35 minutes out of your day at NARCh. I know it's, just to take that time, it's definitely hard. So really appreciate you and definitely giving an insight and just seeing the whole vibe there. Like, I think I can speak for all of us, extreme FOMO. It looks like it's having a great time, and there's nothing better than NARCh finals during the summer. It's a blast.
It's a vibe for sure. Well, I appreciate you guys. I see you're all NARChed out. Appreciate the support, and continue to tag you on everything that we do here, because I know you love to share it and stuff. And you guys do a great job. I wish you were here too. I know. Congratulations again, Anth, on the baby. That's awesome stuff. And we'll be in touch, and enjoy your weekend, because I know I will.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you, Daryn. Thank you again.
See you, man.
Take care, boys. Bye-bye.
All righty. That was great. That was awesome. We got 36 minutes of Daryn. That was a great interview. But now we got another interview we're going to bring in. We've had him sitting for a while, and I do apologize. We got the man, Raine Hartwell, playing goalie for the Palma Golden Knights Academy. Let's see. Hopefully, he's probably just been waiting for us, a little rattled, but apologies. So we'll bring him in and see. There we go. Looking fresh.
How's it going? I was still at work. Gotta get that full day's worth in before the fly out.
I was gonna say, my man dressed for the occasion here, so we appreciate you waiting. We were talking to Daryn, and we had several people come in as well, so it just kind of took off and grew legs. So we do appreciate you waiting, and obviously, looking forward. You're headed out there for the Pro Division with the Golden Knights Academy. So how excited are you to finally get out to NARCh?
Oh man, it felt like State Wars last year was like 3 years ago. Like I just can't wait for some summer roller. Be with like all the guys, see everyone from all the teams. Really, just nothing really beats the summer tourney vibe.
So you spent the last year in France, playing in the France league. I obviously have had a lot of time, just prepare, and you play goalie every week, and just practice on things. Do you think going into this season is maybe a little more different? Like maybe you're a little more focused because that's what you've been doing like week in, week out? Or is it business as usual? Nothing changes. You're always dialed in like that.
No, definitely going harder this summer, especially like practicing and stuff. Like that was the whole reason I went out there. I was like, want to make sure I'm good for the summer. Like just kind of looking back, it's like, well, I'm year 6 in pro already. haven't won a playoff game. Like it's go time. Like it's time to really prove myself and, get some wins under my belt and really show all that I can do. I'll have good games here or there. I want to stretch together some good tourneys and compete. I don't want to just be there. I want to be there and competing.
I love that mentality. That's the mentality you want, as a netminder. You're playing with the Golden Knights Academy. I know usually you play with some either the OC Blade guys. I think it was like the Rink Rat team kind of, you used to play with. Are you excited to, do you guys, let me see, do you guys play them at all?
No, I don't think
No.
so.
Okay. So going out there with a new team, are you, you excited? Just, it's a kind of like a little different look. I know you're with the Border Cats at Palma and stuff, but are you excited for NARCh? Just so, a little different look.
Yeah, just kind of see. I'm interested to see how we gel and how fast that happens because obviously, never played together before. We got a tough test coming out the gate, so it's like, how fast can we come together, and how much better can we get from game one to game 6 or 7? So that's what I'm excited for. I know you bring up the Rink Rat squad, reconnecting with Walk. He did a lot for me in my first couple of years, so getting to suit up with him again will be real fun.
And we were talking the other day on how you got kind of hooked up with this team. So was it Hammond, right? You said, and Pablo that got you on this team and got you to kind of backstop them?
Yeah, they actually ran a camp in Saint Menard, the team I was playing for in France. So then all of a sudden reconnected with them. Obviously knew them through Team Canada and whatnot. And then they were like, "Yo, we're trying to build this pro team for NARCh. Like, we want to, have a good squad and compete, but to do that, you need a goalie, right? You need to have someone to pitch to. Like, this is who we got in net. These are our staple guys." So, yeah, I hopped on with them early because I knew I couldn't do tours. And then all of a sudden, the roster came together, and looking forward to it.
That's awesome. And I was gonna say, I see your Friday, excuse me, you have two pretty important games. You play against FMT, so kind of like a lot of those guys too are a mix of a bunch of guys coming together. So that should be interesting. And then you get to play your boys from back home against Pure Maple. So the last game of round robin is lights, camera, action, 6:45, perfect time on a Friday night at Irvine, right? So
That's going to be beautiful. Oh yeah, I actually reached out to those guys because obviously, like I said, I knew I wasn't going to play tours. I was kind of wondering who they had. Maybe I could hop on with them. I played here in tournaments with them here and there, and all of a sudden the connection kind of fell through, and obviously I'm on this team now. So definitely got that game penciled in. It's going to be a big one.
There we go. One thing that I do love looking at the schedule is you got a very Canadian presence, not just you have Pure Maple, you got the Vancouver Blazers, but you do have some Canadians sprinkled across other teams, like the champion team, obviously you on the Golden Knights Academy, which is really just, I love to see, just because obviously, neighbors up north, unreal at roller, just to see, more of that. It's nice to see.
Oh, as soon as the schedule came out, Bomber texted me, "Got you first game." I was like, "What? It's out?"
Yeah.
And I'm normally the first guy to look at the schedule, but Bomber's pretty dialed too, so he's looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to going against him. Good friend of mine up here.
I was gonna say, it's like Daryn made this schedule specifically for rivalry night for you or something.
Yeah, you got a lot of
your foes, man. You got.
Oh, I love it.
You're in one, man.
I just need OC Blades on there, and then we're good to go. We got everyone.
Maybe you'll see him in the playoffs, maybe one of the playoffs, the quarters or something like that, and you'll complete it,
Yeah, I'm staying with Maxwell, so maybe I'll keep him up all night. Hopefully he won't score one on me then.
There we go. So I think I saw a video of you the other day, doing some training and stuff. I know you do some clinics up in you're from Alberta, correct?
Yeah.
Did you going with the same pads, or did you get new pads for this summer run?
Just got them about 2 weeks ago. I got a set of Jake Ottinger Pro returns.
Ooh, that's what I thought. I noticed the color. I was like, okay, this color is two Dallas Stars. So are those the Pro?
Yeah, Pro return. It's just some mocks. I couldn't get the shadows. The guy didn't reply, but they're not a baby blue. But my team up here in the AB Pro roller team, they're all green, so should match well for those. And I'm a huge Ottinger guy, so. A little fanboy-ish on the Facebook Marketplace purchase, but they feel great, and I can't wait to use them.
And you're full, and you're Bauer, you've always been a Bauer guy with pads and stuff.
I used to be CCM, and then I used to use Mission for roller, and then all of a sudden the true kind of that all falling out, and then I'm like, you know what? Let's go with the Bauers. And as soon as I got my ASU set, I'm like, I'm never changing. These things are awesome.
Well, Reds talked about the last podcast too, like how the Bowers are the most similar to the Mission slides. So it's probably was like a good transition for you to go from those Mission pads to the Bowers. So it's probably why you love them so much. And your ASU pads, I remember was tours, right? I ran into you in the lobby. I was like, yeah, let me snag a pic of those because those were like I think they were like first when Bauer started just putting the graphics on the pads too, right? So I'm sure they cost you pretty petty. So it's got to be a little bit heartbreaking, right, to retire those.
Yeah, I like the gloves are like falling apart. Same with my slide. Like I wear my gear till it falls apart. As much as I get new gear, I put it through good use. But yeah, the ASU one I just drew up on a napkin one day, and then all of a sudden my dad had a mock up from Bauer. I'm like, please, like we got to get these. They turned out great, and then even the border cats, I pad skinned them blue, and everyone's like, you get new pads again? I'm like, nah, I just got to match the boys.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exactly what I asked you. That's what I asked you when you said it because you still had the yellow on there from ASU. So it was like you just basically cover the maroon. So it's funny when you say that.
I'm a big style guy. You got to look good, feel good, play good.
There you go. I love that. So are you going to do anything then when you're going to Palma? Are you going to change up the colors at all?
I don't have enough blue kicking around. I
Okay.
use too much. We'll see. I might try and get some little duct tape, see if we can make it work.
That's I was gonna say you could duct tape or hey pad wrap if you're watching. Get this guy some baby blue
Yeah. Yeah.
pad
Pad
wrap.
Let's go.
skins, pad
Come on,
wraps,
dude.
somebody.
Come
Like,
I
on,
got some
someone
Rage Cat
else, man.
designs cooking up. Everyone
there,
got to connect at Bauer. Let's go.
there we go. I like that. I like the little shout out. Well, hey, Lane, I just wanted to say, sorry again for making you wait for so long and everything. And, thank you for
Okay.
joining. When you go to NARCh Irvine, is there like a certain thing that you like to do, like whether going to In and Out or, hit like the superstore? Is there something that you kind of like always like to do when you go to NARCh finals?
I told Maxwell first thing we're doing raising canes after going to school
Wow.
at ASU. Max,
Okay.
that's a
Okay.
box combo,
Yeah.
extra bread instead of the slaw. Like I'm dialed
Damn.
in. I got the order ready.
You
I
need
can't
the you
wait.
need the
But
car.
So
You
you're a
need the
Canes guy.
carbs.
oh, I love the cane sauce. The bread is to die for. And then and obviously got to stop at Target, hook up on some Gatorade, some Gator Light. Make sure you're
So
keeping it healthy. Get the bad food out of the way pregame, and then keep it healthy all the way.
That's
that's
hilarious.
That's funny. When I go out there, I always get the bad food out of the way. I do the same thing. I go to In and Out first. And then a lot of people like ending it with the trip too, which I'll do sometimes, but like I like getting it out of the way and then I try to like keep it as clean as possible. It's always hard when you're not at home cooking any meal, right? Like you're eating
Yeah.
out every single meal, but there are a ton of good restaurants. Like I love Mendocino Farms. If you get a chance, that's like a good right around the corner, clean eats there. You could always hit that up.
I
Um,
always stop at a Payway in between games too. That's a
oh
good
yeah,
spot. We don't got that up there, so
Oh yeah.
that's a good one too.
I was gonna
It's a little tiptoeing on either side, but it's good enough for me.
I was gonna say, I guess everyone loves Target that's not in the States because Daryn was just saying how Lionel is always just at Target. Like when he's not at the rink, you can find
You guys have Target in Canada, right? Or no?
They lasted for about a year, 2 years, and then they shut down. So got a little.
That's
wow.
nuts. I guess, yeah, we're just spoiled.
I was
It's
say my wife can't live without Target, so it's kind of tough times in Canada.
I got a little Target list from my girlfriend that I got to see if I can knock off here, make room in the goalie bag for it. But
That's hilarious. That's awesome. Well, hey, Lame, just wanted to say, thank you again. I know you're at work, so really appreciate you taking, now 45 minutes out of your day, to wait for this interview and stuff. But thank you again for joining. Good luck at NARCh finals, and we'll see you at Palma Pro, and we'll definitely, have
for
to
sure,
reconnect there. And hopefully maybe if, Pad Skins or Pad Wrap, whoever's listening, get this guy some baby blue stuff because he's got the designs.
let's go. Let's
Yeah,
go. Yeah, looking forward to Palma. Looking forward to this weekend. So thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
No worries, man.
absolutely.
All right, good luck, dude.
Thank you, Lane. Good luck, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
See you, dude. Man, the
All
guy dressed for the occasion.
He did. That
Like
was awesome.
you'd love to see it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you love to see that. And you know what? I saw those pads because I think he was doing a like a goalie clinic.
Yeah.
Right. I saw that bright green. I was like, that is just so nasty. So
it's funny how he's an Ottinger fan, and Ottinger's an American goalie too. So I always find that, like, who guys like in net and stuff. It's always interesting to see. And dude, Jake Ottinger's like one of the guys got the best style in the game. So he's
Yeah.
got the pads all the time.
So I gotta say, I got us another interview. So for the
man.
fans watching, we got another interview here. Then we're gonna get into the rosters. It has been I think it's a pretty good live show right now. We just got you two interviews, basically like 4 interviews in one. You got Raine Hernandez, got Daryn Goodwin, the NARCh boss, got Lane Hartwell. You had Kyle Dowd even in there, one of the officials and tournament directors. And I think we got another friend up north. So we're gonna see if our other friend up north can join. But in the meantime, let's just kind of go over the rosters. It's kind of like just break them down.
Dive into it. So while you good?
Yeah, I'm good. Yep.
I'll say, yeah, I was just go over like the 14 teams real quick, just run through them. And just in alphabetical order. So no particular order. You got Car Shield, Champion Wheelers, FMT, Hope at NCI Phoenix, Casper, Vancouver Blazers, Palma Beta Golden Knights, PGKA, which is the Palma Golden Knights Academy, Pure Maple, Ringster, Skittles, Tour OC Blades, Tour Roadrunners, Unified Conics Black Ice, and then the longest name in the division, Unified Conics Black Ice Purple.
That's just long as Palma Beta Golden Knights.
That's a sentence.
Yeah. And I love the one thing I just don't like is whenever we're making graphics, it's like that it always messes up. So sometimes I just do Palma, which is what it is.
Yeah,
so we got 7 minutes, T minus 7 minutes, and we got another Canadian coming on. We got our boy, just gonna announce it right now, from the Vancouver Blazers, one of our personal favorite Canadians from up north. Huge RDN fan. I met this guy in Nashville, just an all-time beauty of a guy. He wheels everywhere. Matt Garb. Matt Garb is going to be joining. So
my man at the bar is a trip too. So
yeah, he's a good. You know what? I think we got to do something for NARCh fun. I don't know how, but just like it's so fun hanging out with all the guys just after get anywhere, right? Drinking some beers and stuff. But there's so many stories and like so many like just funny shit that happens that you really can't tell on the podcast, like RDN after hours. I know Darren's talked about NARCh after hours. Like there's so many good stuff you can't talk about on a podcast that happens. That's what makes the boys. And that's why you're like, I love that guy.
And like we were saying with Daryn in the 50 over division, that's like half the tournament, right? Is just hanging out, right? You're playing your games obviously, but hanging out and getting to see your friends and other people that you don't get to see for a while, especially like in a destination like California. There's a ton to do. That's why I think me and you are having such FOMO, is that there's just so much to do out there. And I know you have your things you do. I have my things I do. And a lot of stuff happens outside that hockey rink. I know a couple of years ago, you had a pretty fun day at the beach. I remember you calling me and everything. So
yes. That was we got kicked out of playoffs. And that's, this is what I'm going to talk about too, kind of like Daryn was making a really good point. And there's a reason why, like, podcasts just aren't meant to talk about all the good things. Sometimes they're the uncomfortable conversations, right? We're not always going to say the right things to you, or we're not going to always make you feel happy and go giddy. Some things need to be said, right? And he definitely made a good point about sometimes divisions are watered down. For example, everybody wants to play pro or NARCh pro just to say they're playing pro, right? So you do get a lot of teams that are the real pro teams. And, I wouldn't say like our RDN team was like that. Like one year we did really good. We went with our full team, made playoffs, lost by 2 to Black Guys, got kicked out in the quarters, but, we did what we could. The next year we didn't go with the team, and we lost, I think went 1-3. But we realized it. We knew that, but I think you do get those teams that do continually play. But there are pro players on the team, right? So it is kind of hard to say, well, that team can't play, but they do have like 1 or 2 good pro players.
Yeah. And the hope is that, if you do go and you play and you kind of get beat up a little bit, that you improve the next year. Maybe you see another team, you're like, hey, you have 4 good guys. We have 4 good guys. Like, why don't we put our heads together and make a new team or something like that? And then you can, and it's tough though, because, work, commitment, just like guys dropping out last minute. Like there's tons of stuff that goes down. We talk to everybody who talks about building a team. It's like the hardest thing, and the people who do it don't get enough appreciation. Like, dude, I'm talking about it all the time. It's banana land. But to Darren's point, like even though it's a watered down division, you still have like even a black.
And I wouldn't say a watered down division. You
Yeah.
still have like looking at this, like you have like 10 to 11 real pro teams, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And then you have the other teams that are like going to be competing, but it is hard because if you're one of those pro teams and you have to play a lower division team, like that does suck, right? Like that just because
we saw it with Black Eyes at Tours, right? Like how they kind of beat up on a couple teams and then they got in playoffs and a little bit stunned. But like, you know, even when you look at some of the lower level teams, you know, they still have games against teams that are equal to them. So maybe they grab a 9th, you know, 10th spot and they could get in playoffs. So, you know, like even Black Eyes Purple at Tours or Black Eyes 2.0 at Tours, like they gave a bunch of teams good games, only losing by a couple of goals. And that's what you want to see. And that's what I'm saying about all those other teams. Like, hey, look at them. Bunch of young kids coming together. They're just playing hard. They're playing the right way. You can be that top 10 team, you know, or top 8, whatever it is. You just kind of, you know, you have to work on it. It doesn't happen overnight, right?
So. Yeah. And, you know, like he's getting a bad schedule. No, I don't think that is true. Like, you know what you're getting into when you're playing pro. Like, if you think you're just going to get handed an easy schedule just because like that, just get out of here. Like, dude, you're out to lunch, bro. Like, that's not even true. You're out to lunch studios, my man. Absolutely. So, yeah, but if you're entering pro and you're upset with your schedule or any division, you're upset with your schedule, like, then why are you playing in that division? Like,
don't play,
like,
there's plenty of teams, you know?
Yeah, so we're going to get into it. I'm just going to go down from the top, and we're just going to talk about the first CarShield's roster. You know, CarShield's coming off Tours Pro Championship, you know, or my bad. Sorry. Tours Pro Championship. This team's played together for the last really like 4 to 5 years. They really, you know, from Ringster now to CarShield. I don't see any Spezia for this tournament, but you notice they got PJ Cavalla still on their team. One of our boy from Italy, Tobias Van Drame, looks like he's going to be making his way out there playing with them again at NARCh Pro and then at Palma Pro as well, too. Another name that sticks out, and I'm pretty sure this is Connor Bradley. He went to UConn. He just got signed by the Avs, Colorado Avalanche.
There you go.
Yeah, they got a very heavy ice, you know, team as always.
But the right ways, they have. And we were looking up the roster earlier, like the kid Jack Anderson looks like he's a young CarShield AAA player playing at Lindenwood for ice. So they're kind of staying with those ties as well, like with the CarShield theme. So that's cool to see. Maybe he's like the next Kai, you know, for that division, like a young guy that they're just introducing into the pro level. Maybe gets a couple shifts here and there, but he's probably like the only one that, you know, if you're looking at the roster from 1,000 feet, you don't know the name of right off the bat. And then obviously with Reds and Nets, always huge. And even Stavi, you know, Reds talked about he gets games in round robin. So he's another great goaltender. So bingo, look at that tech guy, man.
Yeah, look at bingo, bango. There we go. But yeah, you know, it's the same. It's pretty much like the same roster. Nothing really kind of like different, you know, other than Jack Anderson and Connor Bradley getting added. I would say that you do have, you know, Jared Westcott played with them. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, Jared Westcott. He played with them last year at NARCh, so he's in the mix there too. He's another threat on offense. He's another goal scorer. So just adding to that depth, and they're doing a good job at that with a really really deep team. And sounds like they want it. So talking to a couple of guys, so this is one that they've won. I don't think they've ever won NARCh, so this is kind of like their, you know, feather in the cap if they can pull this one off.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know, they got that core, they got that team. They're one of those top 4, top 5 teams that you'll expect to see probably in the semifinals, to be honest with you.
Yep. 100% agree.
But yeah, so we'll move on to the next one, and you're gonna have to let me know because I can't see my screen.
Yeah, you're good.
When Garb shows
standings,
standings. We're gonna go to Champion Willers. So with the Champion Willers with this team, you're gonna notice California mixed team, but also you're gonna have some Canadian guys as well too. So I know the Tyler Sheetland, he was kind of one of the main guys behind creating this team. And they've been playing NARCh the last 3 years now, I want to say, under Epic Society last year, and now they've moved into a new brand name, Champion Willers, which, you know, they are a good team. They're a good up and coming pro team. I would say you're not just going to become a great pro team in the first two years, right?
Right.
It's hard to build a team and find the pieces that really fit to come into this division. So, it is nice to see they've kind of combined it with some other another team, I guess you could say, but they definitely do have a Canadian presence.
And I think they're going to have a couple of these guys. I know a bunch of them played already in 24U too. So, it's always a good thing, especially at that age when my age playing two divisions is tough. At that age, you're just getting warmed up. Right. So it's nice that they're going to have some legs under them to kind of, get themselves going, and hopefully maybe they steal a game in round robin that they're not supposed to. They're probably, in my opinion, one of those bubble teams to get in, like at that that 8, 9, 10 kind of frame. So I think they got in last year, had a rough one when they got into the quarterfinals, but they did get in, right, and that's a good step in the right direction. At least you're getting playoffs.
I didn't look at the CarShield's schedule, but looking at Champion Wheelers, one thing with these teams, and I will say, hats off to all tournament directors. You're talking about a schedule, like whether difficulty or not, they do give you the games where there are teams at your level. For example, first game, Black Ice, Purple, they play. That is a huge game for both of those teams. Toss-up game, huge game for both of those teams. And then they play Skittles. Skittles has been an established pro team for a while. Obviously that's a tougher game, but but first game for them, that's huge. Yeah. And then you get into day 2 where you got Pure Maple and Palma. That is 2 heavy games. When I say heavy, Pure Maple brings it at you. They're a heavy team. They just like to play hard. So, and that's a 2 teams that are pretty much, I would say, right there with each other too. That's not a toss up, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I think it's a coin flip game in both scenarios. And you remember we were talking about in tours, like that chemistry propel game. That was like a playoff game right from the second game of round robin. They have kind of that same scenario. You get a win against Black Ice Purple, at least you put yourself in the driver's seat, to catch another win and maybe a tie, or, keep the goal differential down, right? That puts you in a better seeding position. So, like you said, they have a balanced schedule, right, at the end of the day. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I know, we played a couple, I think when the Mile High, Teddy Purcell, right? He was on their team. So
Sheetland,
yeah, both
Overland.
Yep. So they're going to have, they have some guys that now have played together for a while, right? So hopefully that core can get them going. And then, and then in net, they have Andrew Showron. And I saw Raine Hernandez making his way back to the pro division. So shout out to him. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. And he's one of those goaltenders that are very positionally sound to watch.
So he's huge too.
Yeah, big guy, but he's very positionally sound goalie too, which is always fun to watch. So definitely be interesting to see how they do. All right, we got moving on to FMT now. FMT. It is, I know Lionel's brand. A lot of these guys kind of like from France, Spain. And then you got Robbie Balgeron, David Baldwin and Chris Caldwell, a lot of guys that have played over there in France that know him. So it is nice to see, Lionel's brand in the pro division too. And a lot of these guys that are, I guess you could say loyal to him, that anytime he does content, they're always willing to help and do it. You know what I mean? So, definitely, this is a team too that they haven't played together ever. They've probably played some of them in some of the teams, but they haven't played together ever as a team. So it's going to be a tough, I would say, just not a tough tournament, but a tough go for the first 2 games, maybe just to get going. But they do have pro level players, Trevor Mack, great player. Robbie Balgeron, great player. Valentin Gonzalez, he's playing with Team France at Palma, so they have the players.
Yeah. And I think I think we were talking to Koss and Fiala, they were saying a lot of this team's going to be kind of younger French players too. So a lot of those guys who are playing in like the N1 and now jumping up into the League Elite too. So they definitely have something to prove. The biggest thing is going to be one, they have, 9 guys isn't a light bench, I wouldn't say, but it could be a light bench when it's hot outside, especially during those games during the day. And you know how that gets, especially if you're wearing like a visor, the thing just heats up on you. But They do have a little bit of a light bench with 9 guys. I think you'd like to see at least 10 in a pro tournament, just so you can, if you need to shift off and whatnot. And the biggest thing, like you said, just going to be able to come together. How soon can they come together? Because there is talent there. Like, I'm a huge advocate for Caldy. He's my boy, obviously, so I'm going to be biased a little bit, but the kid is nasty, and I think you're going to see it at this tournament. I think he's going to show up a little bit because I think he's going to be relied on to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So yeah. Excited to see him get a shot at that. And then Robbie, obviously, he's been around the pro scene for a while with Car Shield, North Park last year. So he's another guy that they're probably going to lean on for some goals and for some keeping the pace of play and playing smart ultimately.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And going into day one, they got a tough day one. I'm not gonna lie, it's probably one of the toughest day ones. They got Palma and then the Roadrunners. I know the Roadrunners aren't going to be as loaded. That's what they've said. But they got the core. They still have the players, so they're going to be dangerous. But day one, that's a tough day one. So,
but their day two is where they have those toss-up games, right? So
yep, you got the Golden Knights Academy and you got Black Ice Purple, 2 teams, or the Academy's in the same position as them. They haven't played together at all, and we just talked to Lane about that too. So, 2 hungry teams. I can tell you, he's hungry. Obviously, the way talking to him, like, dude, the confidence off him. Fuck, dude, I love that as a goaltender.
Yeah. He was feeling it. But I mean, again, like, it's going to be day 2. Don't get down, even if you take 2 losses, and stay with it and try to, make some noise for day 2, get 2-2, like 2-2. Daryn said 2-2 teams are going to be in there. Right. So that's what your goal should be, if not, 4-0, obviously, but you want to go 2-2. Right. And if you can do that, you probably earn just at least chance at a 5th game there. Right. In a quarterfinal matchup. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to Hopa NCI Phoenix, NorCal team. They've played in the division the last 2-3 years, I would say, too. Not the usual suspects, though, on their team. Like, Gibbs played with them. Love Gibb. Huge supporter of Gibb. Played with him with the Quakes when I was younger, too. Beauty of a guy. One guy I noticed on the roster, Andre Gassou. Why am I not sharing my screen? I should be sharing my screen.
Yeah, I thought there was technical difficulties.
Yeah, no, I just forgot. My bad. Andre Gassou, I'm pretty sure, didn't he just get drafted? He played at Boston College.
Yes, sir. So and they have I think it's Kyle Krunagel. I think he's another one who's a pretty big ice guy. Spencer Marquis.
Kyle Krunagel's. I don't think he's an ice guy. He's from.
I know he played. He was a pro, or played some pro ice back in the day. So a couple ice guys there. The Tui brothers, I see that in there. That's a huge pickup. A couple of the Outcast guys. So I assume they.
Paul Linder.
Yeah, Paul Linder in there as well. So. Definitely different looking team from last year. They got the two North Park players, Matt Burke and Aaron Iannella. So, Anthony Carter, Don Carter's brother too. So he's usually plays with them too. So they have a different team, and I think they're definitely deeper than they were last year. And I know from talking to Matt Burke about it that they were even involved in kind of just like, hey, who's on the roster and stuff like that, or pretty early on. So it sounds like they're trying to really put together the best roster going in here. And this is probably one of their better rosters we've seen in the pro division.
Yeah. And they got, Matt Pamiti. I haven't seen him play in a while, but I know when I was younger playing sometimes at NARCh in San Jose, I loved watching him. He was a goaltender I looked up to, played with some of the NorCal teams. He played at San Jose State, but he was an older goalie, loved watching. So, hopefully he brings his game, because he's a stud of a goaltender, but that was a while ago. So I don't really know. Now I'm going to leave the cast for Vancouver Blazers. We're going to get into it because we're just going to have a good luck, because he's going to show up on the stream.
At some point.
Yeah. So, Casper Vancouver Blazers, we got another Canadian team from Vancouver, obviously. But Matt, our boy Matt Garb is going to be joining, and we'll kind of, we're going to talk about the roster with him as well too. But this team does play together a lot up in Canada and in Vancouver and stuff. So, which is, huge. And like I said, without further ado, we got the man, we got the myth, we got the legend, Matt Garb, from Vancouver Blazers, going to be joining us any second. Here we go.
Jumping right into
the thick of things. Oh, yeah. And huge shout out to everybody. watching everything still. We're an hour in.
Yeah, we're deep in it. And
Yeah.
you guys are probably gonna have matching muzzies, and I'm the only one without a mustache. So took an L. Oh man, that is
There he is. What's
at
up,
the
fella?
end mullet.
Hello, boys.
How's it going?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. So, thank you. You just got off work, I'm sure. Thanks for jumping on the pod and everything. How you feeling? You got NARCh, probably leaving to NARCh tomorrow.
Oh man, so excited that work's done. I've been dealing with the hospital for the past few months, so I'm trying to just wrap my head around the fact that I don't have to think about air pressures and differentials of air and whatnot. So I get to finally think about hockey. It's relieving. Let me tell you.
Doesn't it always suck like your last 2 days of work leading up to leaving for a tournament are like the longest 2 days you could ever imagine? Because you're just like, I'm sure you like probably packed all your stuff already. Or are you a guy who just like packs last minute?
No, I definitely try to pre-pack as much as I can, even though I just always seem to forget one or two things like everybody else. But
Isn't that crazy?
yeah. But yeah, no, straight up, like you're trying to get your head mentally prepared for something that's like, some of the best hockey you're going to play in probably all year. And if you're lucky enough to go to one of these, maybe you get to go to the three, and maybe you're in it. But like we've played a lot of hockey leading up to this, but right now we have about a week where we're not playing any hockey at all. So I just built like a deck in my backyard, and with the scrap wood, I'm gonna build a little shooting pad so I can actually stick handle before I leave.
There we go. I love it. That's awesome. That's like one of the most Canadian things I've ever heard. So I love that. So Garb, can you a lot of your team, you guys are all kind of from the same area, right? In Vancouver?
Yeah, most of us. We've picked up a couple guys from Victoria. A couple of our guys had to not be able to come. They had to drop out. So we're taking about 8 of our regulars, and we're taking about 3 or 4 of our extra guys. So those guys are wicked. We got Hatcher was one of the first guys to confirm, and then we had Story confirm. So Brent Story, Corey Hatcher, guys played for Canada for a few years, and thankfully we just got another anchor on D. We just got Kyle Henderson today. So
nice.
Hendo. I love Hendo.
Yeah.
He's my boy. I love Hendo. He's gonna eat pucks, like at least 5 a game. So he's a good guy to have, and he's a leader, which is good. I think that's bigger, even kind of the mental side of things, because he's always just so cool, calm, and collected. Like he never gets too high or too low in games, and I think that's going to be huge for you guys because you guys do play with a lot of passion. You guys do play like a physical game. Like you guys are always in, mixing it up and after the whistle and things like that. So he could be a guy that can hone that in sometimes. Like, hey guys, great, but like let's pull it back so we're not putting ourselves down in penalty trouble. So he's a leader, right? He's a captain.
Yeah, man, Anthony, you got that right, dude. That's exactly it. Like he'll eat everything, pucks and minutes, and then all of a sudden, he says, "Guys, what are we doing here? We got to actually change everything." It's just so good to have. Right? Like,
it's so spot on.
So, looking at your guys' schedule, your first day you got Car Shield, and then you guys play Ringster. Car Shield's coming off that Tours Pro Championship. Are you boys pretty pumped that that's your guys' first game?
Absolutely. Just coming it's not much of a jet lag, but like, just not driving down the street or an hour away or whatever is a lot different, right? So, having one of the better teams to play against right away, that's how you get the measuring stick right away. So, I think it's going to give us a bit of a reality check, and that's what we need. We don't want to get too antsy. We like to run around sometimes, and it's just like, we don't play a true man-to-man all the time at home because everyone's playing run and gun. So before you know it, it's like we get into this skill back and forth, and then at NARCh the game's pretty much done after 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So you got to really ramp it up in the last 10, and that's kind of what we've run into. We've run into like tons of like, oh, we're skilled, we can do these things, we can forecheck, backcheck harder than them, and then all of a sudden we show up with 10 guys or not, we go down to 9 guys, and it's like someone gets hurt because we're just trying to do too much,
Yeah.
So
Do you think playing in the North Shore Inline Hockey League, like how much do you think that helps you guys that you guys are like playing together? Like you said, the core 8 of you guys are playing together once a week, right? So how much of a help is that going into a tournament like this? And I know it's not NARCh Pro, but it's still really good hockey.
Totally. Yeah, no, I agree. It certainly is good hockey. It's just it's a big floor. Like it's an Olympic size. Like, we got to play a lot different than we play at NARCh because the rink is quite a bit smaller than that. Rink is huge. The corners are deep. You can kind of run away from anyone if you have semi speed, whereas like NARCh is like a totally different game. So yeah, I think it helps because we get to experience the hacks and the checks and like, we're from Langley, everyone's from North Shore. We don't get those types of calls, but yeah, we like to come out of the gate and be bulls sometimes. So that's why we have that bad rap sheet. So yeah, I think that the only thing that's going to help us from North Shore, aside from the speed of that league, is going to be the fact that we get our butts kicked every game. So like physically.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's what I was gonna ask. Like the physicality in that league has to like prepare you for like playing NARCh Pro because these guys are like playing such high level ice hockey where they're just like killing you.
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, that's 100% it. It's too bad. Like, you'd think that we would have more of a system out here, but like it's just we never play man to man against anyone because no one. We either feel like we can just work them, and they don't play a tight man on us. Like you'll get like a 3 tight, and then all of a sudden it like meanders our 4th guy. So we can't actually simulate what we need to simulate. And then all of a sudden we just try to pull together a man-to-man based on what we can do. But then the heat plays a major factor in California too. Like, whereas like we're inside, it's quite hot. It's a different type of hot because it's more of the humid hot. Right. Whereas you guys, it's just like an absolute blistering hot. When we show up, we're like, okay, we got to try to learn how to breathe again to some degree,
There's like a different heat, like in the middle of the day games too. Like when we were just talking about like the sun hits your visor, it's on back of your neck. Like when you're on the bench, like you can't get away from it sometimes. But to your point, like I know that, your house league, like obviously it's a different style, but I think the 2 guys that you added, Brent Story's another guy who's been around the game forever, and Hendo, I think they're 2 guys, and Hatcher's been around for a while too. Like those are guys that hopefully can, almost be like coaches as well, on the bench and help you guys kind of hone it in because I know, from just like the ice hockey side of things, the Vilio brothers, like they're tremendous players. Like they're awesome players. And I think they just try to do a little too much sometimes, getting that kind of like in the mud a little bit, but they are really highly skilled guys and all you guys can score. And that's the big thing I always notice about Canadian teams. You guys can all fire the pill. You build a deck just to practice shooting in the meantime. So you guys are taking it seriously, right? You know what I mean? But I think you guys, and it can work to your advantage too, the physicality, against maybe some of the younger teams, on your schedule. Like I know you guys played the Skittles. That game, they have some Canadians on their team too. So that game's going to be kind of the standout game for me in your round robin.
Right. Yeah, totally. It's going to be an all-out battle. Like we got some tough teams. Like Roadrunners aren't going to be easy at all. They're super fast. And then you got Car Shield, like Ringster. I've never even played Ringster, but they always put up a good fight. I've been watching them a bit, but we just kind of got lucky. Like I think we rebranded a bit this year. We changed our jersey look up a bit. Maybe that's why those 3 guys wanted to join the boys because we're just looking a bit better. But Casper Sports, they like to just deck us out with the all reds. Oh baby, we look like we're coming in hot, looking like Spider-Man.
Dude, I love it. Yeah, your jerseys are nasty though. They're all reds, and you guys have all blacks too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are nasty.
I mean, I even like the yellow and red, like the McDonald's kind of look. Like I kind of like those.
That was pretty nasty. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, McDonald's. Yeah, they were nice. They were fun. Yeah. On to the next.
Garb wasn't a fan of that. So I got a question for you. When you go to NARCh finals, specifically Irvine area, is there anything like you have to do? Like, is it go to In-N-Out, or is it like go to Target, or what is the thing for you? Like when you go to, is there anything you have to hit?
Yeah, absolutely. So my little circuit would be make sure you go to Newport. There's this wicked little, I don't even know what it's called, but it's like just taco central, like enchiladas where, you know, the Coronas are flowing, and you're just kind of like go for a nice little rip on the boardwalk. Like there's nothing
Yep.
better than that. Then it's got to be animal style, a little protein style. Got to get the in and out in. I heard it's just jacked in price now. I don't know if everyone's going to afford the old hamburger, but we'll find a way.
No 4x4s for anybody.
Yeah, we'll find a way. Now the in and out's always key, and I think you nailed it on the head. Like Newport, just the vibe down there, tacos, having a Corona, like
There's a couple. And I don't know why California has such good donuts, but there's a couple really good donut spots in Newport. Definitely hit a couple of those up. There's one right on the boardwalk. I can't remember the name, but they're like small and they're hot when they come out. They're like for a late night snack. They're pretty bomb. So definitely hit up a couple of those spots. And like as far as like your guys going down there, is anybody's first time playing NARCh on your team? Or is everyone kind of through this experience already?
I think everyone's kind of done the experience via like just Winter Nats NARCh Pro. I think this is the first time for Riley Carrier doing the pro finals. So yeah, he's a little badger. Like the guy just absolutely steals the puck from everyone in the corner. So we're pretty excited to see how he has a good time doing it. Like we love coming to this event. We were always talking about it. We're just like trying to get more guys out, and not everyone likes to commit sometimes. So that's fair. Other people have other commitments too. Like this time we don't have two of the four Vilio bros. Like Eli's unable to make it. Caleb's got tons of work going on. Eli is pretty committed to trying to, jump guys in the coast, just trying to get above guys, have a good start. And, I think he's just really itching to like really thrive as a top four. So like we totally get why he can't come. And, his other brother Caleb is just as sneaky like on the back end too. So it's nice to have guys that can like make those decisions with the puck like on a whim, like jumping up for net. It's like that you got to get the pucks at the board quick, otherwise you're just getting like so caught in the neutral all the time, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think it really it does play a factor with like players like you. Like you've played NARCh so many years, international hockey. Like you have played so much experienced hockey where like you know this game inside out, and I think that is huge too for maybe like you said, Riley Carrier. He's a new guy. Like you have so much information and you've done it all, so it is nice to have somebody like yourself too there that can kind of guide him through those things too, and open his eyes to NARCh roller in California.
Yeah, thanks for that, man. Yeah, I think he played lots of golds and 30 and over and whatnot. So yeah, it's good to have guys that can be inserted and be happy to be, role players, right? And that's the name of the game. It's like we're not looking for a bunch of snipe show guys. It's like, how does that guy really fit into like this group? Will he sit on the bench? Like, will he get out there and snipe one that's like unforeseen, right? So yeah, we got a pretty good little mixed bag, I think, and like we're pretty excited to just get those wheels going. So yeah.
Absolutely,
Well, dude,
man.
I would say you look great. You got the mullet, you got the muzzy, you got a sick tour shirt on too. Like how we've not talked about that. That's a sick shirt.
Yeah, what year is that from? Oh, that's freaking
baby.
I went to that
Oh,
tournament. That was at the Dr.
Yeah.
Pepper Center, right?
Tour excitement. Yeah, Georgie Brown.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's unreal.
Yeah, that's where I learned if we're faster than them, we play man. If we're not as fast as them, it's 1-1-2 box, boys. And we're like, okay, there's the mantra for my whole life.
Yeah. Great
That
work
rink
to
was,
come by from George.
Yeah, that rink was sick though. I remember that rink in Frisco. They had it was like a blue kind of maybe purple bluish like sport court on the main rink, was it?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like
and like
Oh no, we lost him.
where did Mac Garb go? Did his
Oh,
phone
no.
die?
His phone would have died. It looked
His
like
phone
dying.
Yeah, it sounded like his phone died. No, dude,
Oh, man.
Garb
He's-
is such a character. I love that guy.
If you're out there and you can get 5 minutes with him, do it,
Talk
because
to him.
he's just like I mean, Canadians in general also.
He's just full of life, man. You know, I was messaging him trying to get, you know, obviously get him on the pod. He's like driving home, blah, blah, you know, getting off work. I would love to, like, dude, just got off work, just, you know, popped on the pod like that. And he's just excited. You know, he's building the freaking deck in the back so he can shoot some pucks. Like, my man loves roller, and Matt Garb's the man. So if you see him when you're at NARCh, grab him. So yeah. All right. Well, we gotta wrap this up soon. So we're gonna try to speed through this. And if Garb joins, Garb's gonna join. Okay. So my man's got a baby to take care of over there, and I gotta worry. How much time you got, Ant?
I got a little bit of time. We could probably run through the rest of these.
Okay. Yeah, if Garbo joins, then we'll get him back on. I'm gonna share my screen. We're going down on Palma's roster now. Palma, I mean, it's pretty much the same usual suspects, to be honest with you. There's, other than the big addition, Kyle Mooney. You got Kyle Mooney, and then one player that's played with him the last 2 years, I guess you could say, that I personally think is gross. He tore it up when I was 18s, is Parker Conant. Conant, don't even know how to say his last name.
I butcher his name every time.
Yeah, but he's... You know, he's a great player, great D, a righty. You got Scotty Savage. He is back to the old Scotty, so he's dangerous. Watch out. And they have their team. You know, it's not like they're adding anybody. You know, they're kind of like the Black Ices, the Car Shields. They have their core. They just went over to Czech Republic, won the title over in Czech Republic in the double IHS. So, you know, they're feeling good, and they got the pieces as well too. So what is it? The third year in a row, or last year was the third time they went to the championship.
Yep. And we were talking about it before. I think this might be a year that they win it. I feel like they're kind of due for a summer national there in their home base. So I know that they're skating a lot as a unit, as they always do. Obviously at the Patty Nijar Arena, it's nice to have that and be able to skate. They're all playing in the house leagues there and stuff. And even like you said, their D, if you look at it, right, Scotty Savage, Taylor Aronson, Kyle Mooney, like they have a big D core. Like those guys are monsters and take up a lot of rink, and they can all move the puck too, which is huge. So and Kyle Mooney's looked great. Like I saw some 30 and over clips. He looked great, and he looks like he's taken another step forward. I know he's, you know, with the USA stuff, that was a huge confidence booster for him a couple years ago. So they got a big D core that's going to make it a pain. And then obviously their forwards are always just dangerous with Junior, Eton, Seamer, like it list goes on. And then, you know, and then they got guys who move the puck like JT and Mayhew. Right? So,
yeah.
Like that's a pretty deep team. And that's why I think they're one of those teams that I could see running with this thing this year.
So one thing that I'm going to do two shot, kind of like call outs. Their offense is so stacked and it's just so depth, right? And one player I think that is all not getting overlooked, but is like absolutely gross, Kevin Mooney.
Yeah.
Kevin Mooney's so sick. And I think this is probably one of the years. He just had a huge year in Europe. I mean, he won every cup. Huge year. And I think this is one of the years where you really see maybe like just take off. We always talk about like the roller build. Him and his brother have that like that length, you know, the tallness where they can really like get around players where, you know, Travis Noe, for example, it makes an absolute tear playing these people. Kevin Mooney might be one of, you know, I think is one of the players that, you know, he's not going to need a breakout, but he's going to definitely, he's going to do some work. We got Garb back on. Let's get Garb back on for about 2 minutes here. And we'll bring him back in. Here we go.
And my dog's staring at me too. Like, what are you gonna do here?
You see us? You got us?
Sorry, guys. My phone died. Fuck, what a nightmare.
we guessed it. We as soon as it like just went dead, we're like, dude, there's the way it ended was I had to have died. So no big deal. At least, you know, you got it going. But, you know, yeah, one thing that I was gonna say about, you know, your roster and particularly the schedule you're playing is you have the Roadrunners. And that game stands out to me because they do play completely opposite of you guys, where you can definitely give them trouble in that aspect with the physicality, I think. And being this rink isn't as big, it's a little smaller rink where you can kind of push them around in an instance. Is that one of the games that kind of stands out to you?
We've played them 2 times now, and one of the times we had, let's just say we had Jake Vertanen score like 5 goals, and we beat them in a I believe it was a semi or a quarter. And that game was totally different because yeah, we did push them around a bit. But then the next year we showed up to play against them and we got burned for 2 quick ones. And before you knew it, we were in the hole, we couldn't get out. And it was like they played that speed game, hemmed us in our corners. And man, but sometimes we just play too physical. And like that's just our downside to like getting one ref to the next. Maybe they didn't want to like have us work the other team that much. So, and that's fair. But yeah, to go back to what you said, if we don't play physical against those guys and really just play smart body rather than like strong body, we're gonna be in the hole. So we need to certainly play smarter, but like respect our team, respect these guys, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing you kind of notice too. If you, I've been in this situation too. Back in Pie Hog, we played half this team. If you don't respect the speed and respect what they can do, like they'll get ahead on you quick. 3 goals and you realize, holy shit, the game's already over. And it happens so fast. So you're definitely right. It's a balance, right? It's a balance of, giving them respect, but also, kind of taking it away. Yeah.
I think John Tortorella is a good saying. He always says, "Don't shit your pants on them," and I think that's perfect. Don't get so caught up in who the player is that you're gonna back off them an extra foot and they're gonna take advantage of it. But also know that player can take advantage of that extra foot. So it's kind of like the yin and the yang. But I always love that saying for him, especially for teams in your position. Like you said, you play a different style of roller. You're going against those pure roller teams. It can sometimes it could get hard. It could get tough when they control the puck for 2 minutes at a time, right? And you're like, damn, we just want the goddamn puck. I don't want to play defense anymore. So, oh no, don't tell me we're losing them again.
No, he's good. He's good. He's good.
All right, sorry. There you go. So, yeah, dude, it's been awesome catching up. I mean, you may have a lot of people walking up to you too. While we took your little hiatus, we told everyone to grab 5 minutes with you because you're an awesome dude to talk to. So I haven't seen you in I think the last time I saw you is when we played 30s together, right? So it's been a long time, man.
Dude, I was so pumped to be on the bench with you that year. I was like, wow,
Yeah.
how the heck did I get on this Palma team? This is nice.
Yeah, so was I.
Right?
I was like, all right, it's sweet. They're like, you're 30? I was like, yeah. They're like, you're in. I was like, perfect. And our team was fun too. We had a great group of guys, like guys from I think it was Spain on our team as well, like the Canadians, myself. Like it was a cool team. Got to play with Eton, which is always cool. So we had a nice time. And I think it was the last time I saw you. And we had a good night that night too. So
we sure did. We won 30. So it was crazy.
Yeah. So
well, hey, Garb, thank you again for rejoining, rushing home, jumping on the pod, talking some roller, talking some Vancouver roller. We really appreciate it, man. And we're like Anthony was just saying, you're one of the guys that when you see at the tournament, you just got to talk to, have a beer with. You're good energy. You put off good vibes. So it's nice to see you and thank you for joining.
Thank you guys. Yeah, no, it's been a few years just to go back to Anth. Like my kid's been kind of my priority. So I've been around a lot and it's been fun. I hope I can get those skates on his feet. I bought him those ones that go from like 7 to 11 youth. And like I put him on, the kid just cries his eyes out and he's like,
how old is he?
You're never going back to NARCh. You're never going back. And it's like it's been like 2 years since I won with you. And like that's the thing. Yeah. It's like it hurts to not go to these tournaments. Like you're just like sitting at home and you just want to play some good roller, and it's like it doesn't happen. Yeah. But my kid's too. He's a little half Filipino. He's gonna be a super firecracker. I'm gonna train his stride next month. So we're hoping for the best.
There we go, man.
I was asking because I have the newborn, and I was going to ask you, like, how early can I put him on skates, right? So I'm like, yeah, how early can I put him on? Yeah, the newborn phase is crazy, but I heard 2 is even worse. So God bless you.
Congrats, man. How old is yours?
He's 6 weeks now.
Wow, dude, that's incredible.
luckily my wife is nice enough to let me hop on here and do this because you know how it is, right? Newborn, it's like eyes on them 24/7. So but yeah, she does a great job and she's taking care of them right now. I can hear it over there. So we'll get him on blades soon enough.
What an angel. Yeah, as soon as his feet fit, you can get him in skates, they say. No.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing, dude.
Oh,
just-
man.
But yeah, thank you guys so much, Rob. You guys are the champs. You guys are the boys. Love having this time with you guys.
I appreciate
Absolutely,
it.
man. Hey, we appreciate it. We'll have to do like a round 2, a part 2 with Garb because there's so much more we can talk about. But
history and everything, dude.
Yeah, there's so much we'd love to talk to you about. But thank you again. Good luck this weekend, man. Have some fun. There's a beer garden there. Have a couple for me and have a good time, man.
Dang it, Bobby. Dang
Hell
it, man. And if anybody sees me at the rink and just wants to say a quick hi or talk about how the game's going, those are the most vulnerable times for people in the sport. Like, you're gonna get the most like touching times when the bent bullets come around and the parents are like, "Hey, can you say something to the kids?" And it's like, I'm not ready for this, but it's like, I'd love to. I'm gonna pull something out here, and I still have friendships for like the past 10 years. Like the first time I went to NARCh Pro was like back in 2017. It's like I still see kids from the young Ben Bullets, Jason's teams, and like they always come up to me and they're like, "Hey, can you sign us?" I'm like, "But I'd love to, but I'm nobody, but thank you." It makes me feel good.
To them. Yeah. Somebody to them.
Yeah, dude. No, you know what? You're absolutely right. And I think, it's I guess we don't even realize how much that means, like just those kids probably still love it, like they always come up to you and stuff. And dude, you're not a nobody. You're Matt Garb, dude. You're a beauty.
Dude.
You're a beauty.
International superstar.
Yeah, you are. You're international superstars, right?
Oh,
so thank you.
Sweethearts.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you again, man. Hopefully we'll get
buddy.
to see you soon and good luck this weekend.
Yeah, good luck, brother.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Ciao.
Yeah. Dude, stick taps to him for his phone dying and him jumping back on. Definitely
huge stick taps,
Like
Matt Garb.
If he has that kind of motivation like he did to get back on the pod and he takes that into the weekend, watch out for Garb.
Absolutely. And you got to have a beer with him. You just got to talk to the guy. He's an all-time beauty at the rink. Dude, we got a couple more people joining the viewership. Maybe Daryn threw out the link or something. Yeah. All righty. Well, let's we're going to get through this now. I guess we're halfway through their rosters or no?
Yeah, we got a lot.
All right, we'll kind of go through this. We've already talked about this roster though. We've already talked about Palma Golden Knights. They do got Chucky Baldwin, Joaquin Chavira, Keenan Simpson. He's from Namibia. So it's pretty much a mix of players from all around the globe, you could basically say. But we've kind of already covered that team since that was one of the teams we did. Moving on to Pure Maple, another Canadian team. We got our boy Max Curry in that with them. We interviewed him back with the Lopes. Stud, absolute stud. But yeah, this team, Braden Frisk, another player that plays in college roller here. But yeah, they do got, kind of a core, I guess you could say, of Pure Maple guys that do continually play together, like Steve Cabral. I'm pretty sure hasn't Jaden Lowe played with them as well too for a while?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think they're a pretty like younger team too.
I think so. The mix, and then you have Gabe Peralta. He's a guy that's also played with them too. Yeah. But one thing with the Vancouver Blazers and this Pure Maple, they're Canadian teams, and I don't think they're all from the same area. I think the Pure Maple's more from, or the Vancouver's from Vancouver, Pure Maple's kind of from all over. I could be right.
They're a mix. I know they have some Ontario boys. They have like a mix, but the Canadians always take the Canadian pride really strongly. So
yeah, one thing. So and got Max Curry in that. They got a solid roster. Hey, before we go any further, we got to do an ad read. Okay, we got to do an ad read. Totally forgot. We got 2 ad reads here going. Ant's gonna take the CPR marketing one. I'm going to take the first one, which is going to be the Better Days Golf Co. Better Days Golf Co. We teamed up with some tours content, and they're kind of going to be doing some stuff with the podcast through the summer. But check them out on our Instagram. They got an Instagram, social media, website. It's kind of it's a really cool thing with golf and hockey attire. Dom, he's a cancer survivor, brain cancer survivor, started the brand. And a lot of the proceeds go to that foundation too. So, which is really cool, but they got a lot of cool swag, roller season type of stuff, and different golf attire too. So I like their lids. They got some sick lids, which is really cool as well too. So check them out. Better Days Golf Co. They got Instagram, social media, and they got a website as well too.
And then, and we talked about this on our little mini, I guess you would call it, podcast the other day. We have CPR marketing from our boy, Charlie Robinson. We talked about Charlie. He's one of the smartest guys I've ever met. We had dinner the one night at Bar Louie, and he was, and the stuff he was just saying just about business, marketing and strategy and all this stuff. It makes sense why he has a marketing company, right? So they're a company that really prioritizes like putting what you want to do and how your business wants to look as the number one priority. So they're with all the marketing.
Shut my blinds.
So Rob's shutting his blinds, but up to date with all the kind of marketing trends and things like that. He taught me a lot about, trends and technologies and things like that. And he's actually been helping us as well with a lot of things that we want to do as far as like growing Roller Dad goes. So perfect example of, just kind of where you started it, bringing the right people in. I was excited to be a part of our RDN, and now we're working with another guy in the roller community who's helping us kind of grow the brand. So CPR marketing, definitely check them out. Obviously they're going to be tagged in all the stuff this weekend. So go to their Instagram page. They have a link tree with all sorts of marketing, different links that you can go to, whether it's about strategy or ebooks, things like that. So awesome company, awesome guy behind the scenes of it. And definitely a guy that another guy, if you ever grab 5 minutes with him, and he'll blow your mind with the amount of knowledge that kid has. He's a pilot. He's a marketing guru. This guy's got everything going on. So
yeah,
he's the man.
He's an absolute beauty. All right, next roster we're going to do is it's a Ringster. I'll share my screen on this guy here. So Ringster, this is a team, I would say a heavy East Coast team. Wasn't this Ringster Propel basically? Right?
Yeah, so they have Ringster Propel guys, and then it looks like they have a couple of the chemistry guys as well, like Matt Fisher, Cole Taylor. We interviewed Luke DePasquale, Sam Eisenhower, Joel Eisenhower.
We got Tanner Mortensen, one of the RDN free agents. He's under the RDN agency umbrella, so he's a player that we got on that team.
I'm still waiting for the payment for that, but for that transaction. I talked about Bryce Whitman. He's a good player from out here in PA, outside the Philly area at the 422 rink. He's a guy who's got a hell of a shot, and if he gets some open space, he'll definitely take advantage of it. So they're going to be, I think, with this team, what we saw with Propel had some really good games after their first day, right, and at tours, and kind of the same thing with chemistry. Chemistry's got a bunch of guys new into the scene, so it's just going to be about gelling, coming together, and seeing if they could steal a game or two. This way they can, have a shot at like.
Hey, look, you got Mr. Penguin coaching down here.
Yeah, I saw. Oh, and they got Joaquin coaching too. So that's
Joaquin's playing for a team and coaching. Hey, you gotta love it.
There you go. That's like Jay Mura coaching both Black Ice teams and Vio coaching the chemistry and Roadrunners team. So obviously ELE here in the roller hockey community, obviously, but but again, looking at their schedule as you pull it up, they have again those toss-up winnable games, really like 3 of them, in my eyes that they have really good chances at, and they could be one of those mid-seed. I expect them to make playoffs, and I expect them to be one of those mid-seed teams.
Yeah, and you're predicting this team to make playoffs.
Yeah, I would predict them to make playoffs with this team.
Yeah, I mean, the Eisenhower brothers, Sam Eisenhower stud, Joel's a great goaltender as well too. You're right, they do got the one thing that I always like with these Canadian teams, they play hard, and that's this Vancouver Blazers versus Ringster game. That could be a game where I wouldn't say get out of hand, but you could definitely see one team kind of either blanking the other, just because of the way that they play. This Ringster team. It's not that they have troubles or anything, but it is hard to get going, right? But they do have the schedule that allows them to do that, which is nice, right? Like, they don't have a soft schedule. Opening up against OC Blades is tough because a lot of pro experience on that team. They play together always, and our boy Dwyer's in that. So Yeah, Wheezy, Dweezy. But yeah, they do have I wouldn't say an easy schedule, but they got like you could say like a C plus schedule, right? Like it's
Yeah,
still it's hard, but you got the game against Hopo where that's a throw up game. The Blazers and OC Blades technically
their
you
games
could
you need to win. Yeah,
yeah,
you need
yeah.
to win
So
the game.
all
So
right, my boys got to get going here. So we're gonna blaze through these last rosters real quick. And we really appreciate the fans still watching. It says we have like 15 people watching. Don't know how true that is, or if it's
two
like
hours, man.
I think it's my
Whatever.
girlfriend on 15 different devices back there. Hold
There
on.
you go.
All
I gotta
right,
get
we're
a
gonna go
little
through.
some.
All right, 2 minutes for each one. Okay, 2 minute drill. Here we go. Skittles.
Let's go.
Skittles is gonna be the usual suspects. We just talked to Raine about an hour ago about this, and he's predicting this team to kind of do very well. And I would say so too. This is a team I would say this is their summer to make that jump. This is the summer for them to actually solidify themselves as that pro team that they actually are. Impama Pro coming up in a week, they're in the qualifier. They're not Impama Pro. So this is a huge tournament for them to get the wheels under them, to get gelling, good vibes all the way through. And I think this is a very, very important tournament for this team.
Yeah, I mean,
Schedule, and with the schedule, they don't have an easy schedule, but they got a winnable schedule to make the playoffs and be a high seed.
yeah, I agree. And I think that, like you said, you mentioned the Palma thing, they're probably playing with a little piss and vinegar in their game. And they have their full squad, which is good to see. And maybe that's part of the reason maybe they didn't do tours. Maybe they wanted everyone to commit to this and Palma, right? So they do have their full squad. And we used to see the Skittles back in the day only run like 8 guys ever, right? Like max. So now that they have some more legs, I think they're understanding that you do need the bodies to go far in the tournament, because now it's not just about winning some round robin games. Now it's about winning round robin games and playoff games, and you need legs to do that. Shout out to my boy Wheezy. He's a SoCal guy, got back in the roller with us 2 years ago at tours with the few, and now he's playing with the Skits this year. So that's was a little RDN free agent deal too. I hooked him up with the boys over there, and he played regionals with them, did really well. So excited to see him keep growing in the pro division. And we're up to 2 minutes, so now we're on the tour OC Blades.
We're OC Blades. Like we were saying, we got our boy Dwyer and that, and it's nice always to go out there, get the wheels under you before you go, to another tournament as well too. Looks like him and Luke Benavente will be splitting the net there, but OC Blades do have their core with like Hayden Maxwell, Skylar Hoare. I know Tristan Gonzalez has played with them for a bit, and then you got Austin Koss too, who we've interviewed, had a huge year in France. And then Aiden Hershik too, big ice guy. So his team has potential as well too. I think this team makes playoffs, no doubt. They got the pieces. Greg Hughes is a sneaky, nasty player as well too to watch out for. But they do, they got a tough schedule. They got that Ringster game. Definitely be that one of the, I would say, a winnable game for them. The Car Shield game, that's going to be tough. And then you got Black Ice the next morning. 2 back-to-back games that are definitely going to be tough. So if not, those 2 other games are going to come in very huge just to make sure you make playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, again, hitting the nail on the head with the OC Blades. Their biggest advantage is that they do play a lot on that rink too. Most of the guys, we talked about them a little bit the other day, but Daryn.
Butasov, that's another RDN pickup.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and he's played with them on the Ringster side of things before, like when they were Ringster, some of these guys. But I talked about NARCh the other day. I think he's still a stud. Played against him in 30 overs when I was out there, and he can still play. So they got a nice veteran core, honestly. Like for as many young guys they have a lot of vets that have been around the game a while.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to the Tour Roadrunners. This is a core team where you really don't see a lot of different pieces being added. You're going to have, it looks like our boy Keith Johnson's back in net. He's going to be there for NARCh for the boys.
He's back in net there.
And it looks like
they picked up Mason Pilkington. He played tours with them as well. Nate Burke is another guy they picked up from Envious. So he's been picking up there. Nate Durrance has been playing with them a while. Brett Jackson making his way back into the mix. So again, usual suspects with them. Frankie Melton's been playing with them for a bit too. He's a nice goal scorer to add into the mix. Obviously no Max on this roster, but they still have enough.
No Max, no Della, no Burger.
So a couple of their key guys missing, but they still have enough with Joey, with Frankie Gyrat, both Frankies, right? They have enough there for the scoring side of things. Mikey Colello looked awesome at tours too. So I think they have enough there to continue the scoring because those guys are scorers, Della and Max especially.
Yeah, and Joey D will play the whole game, so there's no worry about that.
And
you got this. Yeah, alrighty, buzzing through this. We got the defending back-to-back champions, Unified Black Ice, right? They've gone back-to-back, right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and it's been kind of rematches against Palma. So,
yep, and you're gonna have, Charlie Combs looks like added on this team, but other than that, you're gonna have your core, your Black Ice team. You got Machinsky and Net, Crafty, Versteeg, and Kit. You have your team here. It looks like no Shavo though. No, my bad. I see Shavo. What am I saying? I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, not much to say about Black Ice. They're deadly. You know what you're going to get from them. One thing that I did think that didn't help them out at tours is the weak schedule they had. You kind of saw on Sunday. They play that PGKA team, the Alliance Golden Knight team, which you just never know. But yeah, Hopa has a different look. And then they got OC Blades, which definitely will be a tough game. And that Rinkser team, East Coast players always play Black Ice pretty well.
Yep,
so,
exactly.
You should see Black Ice being that higher seed, theoretically in this, but not having that tough schedule where you don't get to play like that Roadrunners, you don't get to play just that top tier team. Sometimes, like, I guess you could say annoys you, right?
Yeah. I agree with that. And they do have like teams that are going to be tough against them because like the Ringster team is a bunch of guys that they know, right? And they're a bunch of young kids that want to prove themselves too. So they're going to have some games that are going to be more challenging for them. And I think it's going to be good, but they're another team where I said Palm, I could see winning it. They're a team that you might as well just throw them in the mix. You can always see them winning every tournament, right? Like no matter what tournament it is, you can always see Black Ice and they love California. So
Daryn said that
out there right now.
Yeah. All right, last roster, we got Unified Connex, Black Ice, Purple. We have the longest name in the division. The last roster, NARCh Pro Preview. This is a team that I guess you could say is like, when we talk to Crafty, kind of like those prospects, the players that can be playing. And, players are getting older. People are getting older. You're going to start to see maybe this is the chance for those players to move into those other role steps, and those roles, maybe with Black Ice. And that's what this farm team is. And you definitely have those players. Jacob Robertson, a player from Florida, I believe. Sammy Phillips, Tristan Lipinski. Even got Mars Simmons on this team. Dominic DeLuca. Like, they got good young studs, right?
Yeah,
and
Sammy Phillips is disgusting as well. He tears up in his division, so he's like looking to make a big step. They don't have Matt Lynch. I know he got hurt, so I don't know if he's gonna be playing or not. So that's my like kind of question mark for them.
And then you look at their schedule. That first game we've already talked about, the Champion Wheelers. That's up in the air for both teams. So that's a huge game for those teams. And that second game when they play that Alliance team, just because Black Ice has that advantage now over them of playing tours together. So that's huge. You get into day two, you got that tough game versus Palma. But then you get it ended off with FMT. Not a bad schedule, to be honest. Not a bad schedule for this team. And based off tours, they should make playoffs.
I was just going to say that I think they're going to be a team that makes playoffs. And even how they played Car Shield at tours, they gave them a game for the most part. It was like 4-1, but it was pretty close for the majority of the game. So their team, I see, again, they're just going to take steps in the right direction. And Jay's going to, put them in a good place to win every game, just how he coaches and how verbal he is and everything like that. So he's not going to let you get out of your structure. Like Garb was saying about Henda, he'll look and be like, what the hell is going on, boys? What are we doing? Jay's going to say that, but the whole rank's going to hear it. So you don't want to get out of that structure because that's when you get in trouble too, honestly. So
and you get, like we were talking about with the Blazers and the two Roadrunners, you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. You just kind of, and one thing with the Black Ice, you got one of the best coaches in the world there, so it's huge. Nice.
Yep.
So, hey, everybody, Beauties. Thank you guys for listening still. We're about an hour and 52 minutes in. We went through some impromptu interviews. You only thought you're getting Lane. Well, psych, you got Daryn Goodwin, Raine Hernandez, you got Lane Hartwell, and you got Matt Garb. You got a great pod. We couldn't do 14 players because we would still be doing this on the 7th guy. So we did what we could. Thank you guys for joining and watching. It looks like there's 16 people still watching. Appreciate you. Everyone listening to this that is heading
Hey
into
guys, thanks.
tomorrow, then good luck and hope you guys have some fun in NARCh finals.
We're gonna miss you guys. Yeah, we're gonna miss you guys not being out there, but definitely gonna be keeping the everyone in the roller community engaged the whole weekend, best we can with updates, stats, standings, whatever it may be, and definitely check out the YouTube page for NARCh for some of those live stream of those games.
Yeah, give Raine a follow with the RCH roller new account with just pure roller stuff. Lionel with my FMT as well too. They just put out the best content, especially at NARCh. And then obviously NARCh will always put out their content. So thank you guys again. We'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.